I learned the stories of what was happening when I was 18 in South Sudan, and there was this really bad war, and I wanted to do something. And I would go around to all my friends and family and say, you need to do something. But my dad told me sometimes in life you have to do something yourself in order to create change. And so I decided that I didn't just want to donate money or I wanted to do something more. I wanted to meet the people. I wanted to find out who were the people that really suffered in our world. And so I ended up going to South Sudan when I was 18. And then from there, I learned that it's so important to really get to know people from other places in this world, to learn their stories. And that's how I started in university, Help for Refugees, the charity I started. And
what would you say is the worst problem in camps?
oh, I saw that question, Mia. Actually wrote that one down. I liked it a lot. There's some tangible problems, meaning there's some real problems such as people not in school because sometimes it's just because they don't have enough schools, but it's also because their schools were bombed, and so they're afraid to go back to school. Another big problem is how the world views refugees. Because what I've seen is it's not just the actual needs that they have, it's how people treat the refugees. Even here in Jordan, and most of the people here are refugees themselves they are either Palestinian or Iraqi, but people look down upon Syrian refugees. My 19-year-old friend here, she says she's proud to be Syrian, Mia, but every time she tells someone she's Syrian, they just criticize her. Can you imagine, Mia, you telling someone, your nationality or what you identify with, and someone saying, no, that's just bad. You guys are just bad people. So that's something that's really tough for the Syrian people right now. Yeah. Making sure that people feel welcome. Sometimes I feel like we don't see each other in this world, and we're so scared to learn about other people.
Are there any differences from when the refugee camp didn't have the coronavirus going on or when there was coronavirus going on?
I work with a group of doctors in Syria. The organization is called the Syrian American Medical Society, SAMS, and they've ran out of physicians. So when coronavirus, and they've already found a few cases of coronavirus in Syria, and so when it hits Syria, and these refugee camps are densely populated, so a lot of people in a small area, Amber. So unfortunately, it's not a good recipe.
What do you do to stop panic from happening?
One rule we had when I worked with Michelle Obama in the White House, my boss always told us never to run. And I think that was good advice because we have to keep our composure, not just on the outside, but on the inside. And if we panic, other people will panic, and it's this ripple effect. So I think the only thing we can control is ourselves, Amber, and I think we have to lead by example. And if everyone else is posting things on Instagram that show panic, maybe we can show something that's a little different, right? And this family actually fled Syria, really, really horrific time, but and they have a tough time still, whenever they hear whenever they hear like a big noise outside, they jump because it reminds of the bombings, but they're so positive, and they, if there's one thing I want to share, one of the questions that you guys asked that I saw yesterday was, what do you do when you feel sad? And I think one of the things we can do is to surround ourselves with positive people, and with people that really just remind us that we're all human in this world, that it's just chance where we're born. And Bashar, yes, him and I are of different religions. We're from different countries. I can barely speak any Arabic. He can barely speak any English. But he's like a father and he's like a second father to me. And he's always, the first thing when the quarantine happened is he asked, Jordan, how are you? He's not asking, can you help me? He's saying, Jordan, do you need anything? You know, he's calling me. And I think one of the important things is to build relationships with people. Because now I don't think of him as a refugee. I think of him as a friend. Do you guys know who started Apple?
Go ahead, Colin.
Jobs.
Absolutely. Yep. Steve Jobs. Do you know where his father is from?
Go ahead, Grace.
Wasn't it Syria?
Yeah, nice. So, you know, I would meet Grace, you know, I would meet refugees from Syria, and they would, in this refugee camp, they were wearing similar clothes to us, and they would show me footage on their smartphone, sometimes even an iPhone. Syria was a very prosperous, wealthy country before the conflict started. And I would meet refugees from these villages where the same village that Steve Jobs, same city where Steve Jobs' father was from. And it made me think, you know, the next refugee could be the next Steve Jobs. I think there's a lot of fear of refugees in the world, but I don't think people talk about the potential, how much incredible things the refugees can bring to the world. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Can everyone give a big thank you? And any other questions, we can
Thank
follow up another way.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, Jordan.
You guys remind me of everything that's right with the world. You really inspire me. And